Hi guys. I wonder if you're a romantic person. I am. And so is my God. After all, He created love and romance. The story of Ruth is a romance. We looked at the early part of her life yesterday. We realized how vulnerable she was, working in the fields, as a foreigner, as a widow, and as a woman. But now we're moving on to the romantic bit. Ruth's marriage to Boaz. Ruth worked really hard, and she brought home food for herself and her mother-in-law. She kept going to Boaz's field day after day. You'll remember how kind he was to her. He gave her his protection and his permission to glean among the sheaves with his reapers and his servant girls. Naomi began to realize that Boaz was the one who would marry Ruth. And she gave her these instructions. It was a party night. Boaz and his men and women were going to celebrate the bringing in of the harvest. They'd all be in high spirits. And Naomi knew it was time for the ladies to make their move. She said, Ruth, wash, put on your best clothes and perfume, and go down tonight to the threshing floor. Wait till the party's over and the men lie down by the fire to sleep. Then quietly slip down and lie at Boaz's feet. And let him know that you're available for marriage. You see, there was a law in Israel that stated that if a man died, for example, Naomi's husband Elimelech, a near relative could buy back his land and marry his wife. Now Boaz happened to be a near relative of Elimelech, Naomi's dead husband. And Naomi could see that God was in this, providing for Ruth and herself and their future. As you know, these dear ladies were very vulnerable without having the protection of men. And so Ruth listened to her mother-in-law and took the initiative and went down to the threshing floor and lay at Boaz's feet. In the middle of the night he was startled and woke up, and there was a woman at his feet in the darkness. Ruth quickly explained what she wanted, and Boaz was just over the moon. He was delighted. He said, Ruth, I thought you would go for one of the younger men. You could have had your pick, but you've come to me. He was really, really chuffed at this beautiful young woman that was wanting to marry him. And he said, I'll do everything I can. Just leave it all with me. I'll make the arrangements. And he was delighted. He sent her off before it was light with plenty of grain in her apron to take back as a present for Naomi. So Ruth went back and explained it all. Well, Boaz didn't waste any time. He called all the elders together and he explained that he was buying back the parcel of land that belonged to Naomi's husband, and that he was going to take Ruth as his wife. And everybody let off a cheer. They were thrilled, they were delighted, they were excited. And so Ruth married Boaz, and the Lord gave her a little boy that she named Obed. And all the women were cheering and singing, Naomi has a son. It's funny that they said, Naomi has a son, because this little boy would grow up and he would care for Naomi and for Ruth, of course. So Ruth was brought into the family of Boaz, and it's a lovely picture of what the Lord Jesus can do for you and for me. He will bring us into his family. He has paid the price in his own precious blood on the cross, that we might be bought back, redeemed into the family of God. And you know, there's more, because this little boy became the father of Jesse, who was the father of David. So Ruth was King David's great-grandmother. But even more than this, going down through the centuries, Ruth has blessed me as well, because she became the great, many greats grandmother of the Lord Jesus Christ himself, who came into the world, descended from Ruth and Boaz and David and all the others. He came as my Redeemer to buy me back to God with his precious blood. And that's a love story that will never end. My romance with Jesus in the beautiful heaven forever and forever. I wonder, are you romantic today? I wonder, are you in love with Jesus? I am. With all my heart, I love him because he died for me and he paid the price to bring me into God's family. Trixie and I love you all very, very much. God bless you, and see you soon.
So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. And he went into her, and the Lord gave her conception, and she bore a son. Then the women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without a redeemer, and may his name be renowned in Israel. He shall be to you a restorer of life and a nourisher of your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you, who is more to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him." Then Naomi took the child and laid him on her lap and became his nurse. And the women of the neighborhood gave him a name, saying, "A son has been born to Naomi." They named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David.